Hello, Gary Champion, psychic medium and healer and author and whatever else. uh, Videos occur. I make them of things I hear from the other side, and today's video is no exception. I begin hearing chatter about anxiety and depression and all these things, and among a bunch of other stuff. And then I begin to think about it, and then I turn the camera on, and I don't know what's going to come out. I have no idea. I mean, this is improvisational. All this I'm saying right now is totally improvisational. I don't have a script. Neighbor dog's barking, peanut barking. Um, it's an effort to reduce um, the things that are really bothering us. The things that create the anxiety, you can't really stop. But once you have anxiety, there's things you can do about it. We're the most medicated we've ever been. I think that number is 25% of all women are taking something for depression or anxiety. Uh, it's the nature of the world. And women are at the forefront of that with babies and homes, and they worry about money and all these things, and that's why their anxiety. The good part is that their estrogen protects them from it being terrible. It doesn't take the toll that it does on a man. We get anxiety, things come on, wheels come off. Women, their estrogen and their chemical makeup serves a nice cushion. I mean, they don't get the crap we get. We get it and it doesn't go away. It tends to stick with us. Women fight through it and figure out a way. Well, this is just one of those ways that has been figured out to work and pretty simple. We're the most anxiety driven and depressed group of people that we've ever been. And yet, let's see, where is that thing? With one of these, and you can contact anybody in the world, and you think that loneliness is just because you're alone and you don't have any real friends, or anxiety builds up and there's no place to go with it. You think this helps? Doesn't. I talk to people all around the world, and I always say it's just like being there. And to me, it feels like it because I'm a medium, but I'm not sure that. Anyway, what it takes is real world contact with people where you can ask questions and enter and relate and um, make decisions and work your way through things. It's hard to do that on a screen. It's hard to do that. It's not the same thing. You think it would be, but it's not. So we're in the most in contact with the earth and people that's ever been. And then here's a tag on there, or so you would think. It's just an illusion. Uh, that picture on the screen can't hug you. It can't shake hands. It can't pat you on the shoulder. It can't say good job. It can't. The human touch is what makes um, anxiety easier to deal with. So we say we're most in contact with lots and lots of people, but in fact we're just as isolated as we always were, even worse. COVID came along, people stopped leaving their homes. I did. I stayed in and have continued to. I don't get out very much, and so I've isolated myself to a degree, which brings on more anxiety, more tension. So you think by communicating with the phone to people or Skype or Zoom that you're you're okay and you're not. I think there's a couple of orbs flying through the air. Isn't that interesting? It's not enough. In person, uh, is a real experience. Zoom and Skype is kind of artificial. And it's like looking at an artificial sunset. It's pretty, but it's not like walking outside and watching it. It's not the same thing. Uh, it's not like being there. It's not. You think it is, but I like Skype readings because I can see them, I can read them, their energy better. But as far as reducing tension and anxiety, didn't do that. Uh, Deep breathing is what we're talking about. Tends to um, shut down the fight or flight reaction that we get, the panic, the um, all that stuff. So, and here's something to know that sometimes you may have a lot of anxiety and tension and you just can't function. And it can be because you didn't deal with the grief of a lost one. You you just went back to work. You buried them and you went back to work and you never really grieved over it. So sometimes the anxiety you feel is that without, I mean, who would figure that out? But that's what it is. It's that you didn't properly say goodbye, give them their due, meditate on it, think about it. Anyway, uh, I don't have that. I don't deal with grief and people passing. I usually they come around me after they're dead. So I've never lost anybody. The original people I knew, I still know them. They come around and tell me who they are and what they're helping me with. So it's not the same thing. I've never had that grief of a loss to a loved one. It's kind of odd for other people to see that, but that's the truth of it. I miss them, and then they come around. Even people I don't miss that I never liked, who never liked me, they come around too, and they're quite friendly. You take the time to grieve, to lower the anxiety, and all the tension that's going on. Here's another one. That one's really interesting. I always say I'm living in the now. I don't really have any other thoughts. I'm not capable of thinking about tomorrow or even an hour or two from now. I don't have that. I look at the schedule and make phone calls and do Skype and whatever, and then I watch television. But I don't think about moving from here to there or from there to any other place to walking the dog until the moment occurs. The dog says it's time to go out, and we go out, and that's my cue. Peanut runs the house around here. I don't doesn't matter what time I want to get up. I'm getting up at 6 or 5 or whenever he gets up. Jumps up on your face. Can't go back to sleep. Anyway, thinking about the future actually is a big anxiety creator, tension and anxiety, which is I wasn't aware of it, but that must be why I think in the now. That all I can do is this. I can't do anything else. I don't have that ability to think of two or three things. I can think of one thing at a time, and then once that's done, I move on to the next thing. But I don't think about tomorrow, next week, or next year, or any of that. So I don't suffer the anxiety of what's going to happen. That's what I'm trying to say in the long run is that thinking about the future. I'm going to build a house. I'm going to get some horses. I'm going to go live on a mountain. I'm going to I don't know, fish in the so and so river. I'm going to future anxiety because you're there and you should be here. So living in the moment means thinking in the moment, and thinking in the moment doesn't create anxiety. I figured all this stuff out. It took a while, but I don't have the same anxiety that my wife has because she's thinking about tomorrow. What this needs to be done. That has to be done. I don't have that. something pops up in front of me, I say, oh, I need to go do that. And then if I do it, I'm lucky. And if I put it aside and don't do it, it might be a while before I get back to it because it's not in the moment. Somebody sends me a notice, your license plate needs to be, your registration needs to be renewed. I can do that. But if I put it over here, I might not get it done. Paperwork right over here for tomorrow, banking stuff. But it's right here where I won't miss it. Anyway, try not to think about the future. That's hard to do because we're such competitive people. And, I can't wait till I get this. I can't wait till I get my car. I can't wait till I go to college. Can't wait till I get married. Can't wait till I have a baby. And then all these thoughts create anxiety and tension. I think something that's really we don't think about, but thinking in the past does the same thing. Unresolved issues of the past. I could have done that. I should have done that. I didn't do it. And women are the worst at that. They tend to go back in the past and try and fix things that have already passed. They try and bring it into the present and deal with it in some way that makes it better. Uh, but it creates anxiety and tension because it's past. You can't fix it. You, you, it happened 20 years ago. Let it go. But we don't tend to. I could have been in the army another couple of years. I'd have retired with a pay of this and a rate of that, and I could have. Don't do that. You didn't. So that's off the table. If I'd have taken 3 cards instead of 2, I would have had a royal flush. Makes no sense. Anyway, try and live in the now. Try and get up and this is what's important. To me, right now, talking to you on this video is the most important thing I can do. It's it for me. I don't have a secondary thing. After this, I go play with the dog and watch television with my wife. We talk about things. Anyway, there's a reason why when people have panic attacks, they give them a paper bag to breathe in. You've seen that in movies, and you may have had it done to you. Here, breathe in this bag. Because every time you breathe in that bag, there's less oxygen in it, more CO2. And without oxygen, the brain slows down, slows everything down. No oxygen in the blood, they begin to shut things down. So that's why, and deep breathing's the same way. You're sort of denying yourself oxygen, and anxiety disappears. Yeah, you just have to trust me on this one. I've done it, and it works every time. To get into meditation is the key to everything. It's the key to talking to your guides. It's the key to seeing the future. It's the key to illness. Uh, Everything can be seen in a meditation. What's the easiest way to get into meditation? Deep breathing. It gets you to that relaxed place where right next door, I mean, it's real close. So it's something to start with. If you're, you can't take someone who's got a lot of anxiety and say, shut up and relax. Yeah, that's not going to work. They're just going to continue on with their anxiety, and they're not going to hear anything you tell them anyway. But if you start off with a breathing exercise, everything slows down because it has to. Without oxygen, everything begins to shut off. Lacks of oxygen in this case, in this tiny case, is a good idea. And then once you've achieved that state of relaxation, then meditation's right there. You can say any meditation you want, and it sticks. So, for those of you who've never done a deep breathing exercise, it's really simple. You take 4 beats inhaling, hold it for 4 beats, and then exhale slowly for 8 beats. Let's go through it again. I'll just do it and I'll count with my fingers, I guess. And if you do that over and over again 7 or 8 times, everything just slows down. Everything slows down. And anxiety disappears because your view of the world has changed from one of the future and the past and things that are going on right now to just the now. I'll do it again. That's 4 beats, not 4 seconds. But if you want to make it seconds, it doesn't matter. I just prefer not to look at a clock while I'm doing it because that destroys the idea of it, maybe. It becomes too mechanical. And if you're off a beat, it doesn't matter. Let me answer this. Can I call you back? Okay. Client. Anyway, so it goes. 4 beats in. I usually like to breathe through my nose for that and then out through my mouth. But it doesn't matter what the method is. It's the beats and the holding and all that count. Okay, so do that 7, 8 times. See if the world doesn't slow down, if the anxiety doesn't disappear, and if you decide to meditate, you'll notice everything slowed down. That's why they give a paper bag to someone who's freaking out. In the movies, they always slap the girl that does that. In reality, you go to jail for that. So a paper bag. Hysterical women in the movies, they're always slapping them. I don't get that. That would seem like that would make them angrier. Oh, the world of movies. Movies are not real. I'm hoping this is real enough that you'll try it and find a simpler way to reduce your anxiety instead of medication. And anxiety